What's up, everybody? Once someone gets on, please let me know if you can hear and see us okay. We will get started in just a minute when everybody starts showing up. We got IC says, what up, Nico, and what up, Chris? How come I get second billing there?
Because I'm the guest.
Yeah, that's what it is.
What's up, IC? I see you, but I don't see you. But I wish I could. I'll stop.
Yeah. And with that, we'll call it a day.
Yeah.
So, like I say, we'll get started in just a few minutes. People are perennially, that's a tough word, perennially late. But it's being syndicated out to all the groups and pages right now. So before we get into anything, how's it going?
My gosh, it's going fantastic.
Yeah.
How's it going for you, Chris? Not like we haven't been talking at all lately.
Right. I literally could not be better. So thank you for asking.
That's awesome.
Yes. That's a little psychological hack of mine. I say that every time somebody asks how you're doing, and then you just kind of convince yourself that even if it's not true, you know? So.
Yeah, that's true.
Craig says, hey, Chris and Nico can hear and see just fine. Awesome.
What's going on, Craig?
Good to know. All right. We will give it till about 5 after, and then we'll get into it. So
beautiful.
What time is it for you? It's like 11?
Yeah, it's 11:02 over here in beautiful, sunny, hot, humid Dallas, Texas.
Where you're wearing a heavy coat.
I'm wearing a very heavy coat. But so I was explaining this to Chris before the broadcast started. The reason why I'm wearing a heavy coat is because it's so hot outside. It's like I think 100 that I have to turn the AC on full blast so that it's so cold inside so that I have to actually wear a jacket. So,
I've yet to understand why you can't just slightly lower the AC to where it's a moderate temperature and you don't have to, but
it doesn't work that way.
You do you.
Yeah. Then it's just like weirdly muggy inside.
Yeah, I actually keep mine on very cold as well. Like I keep the apartment at like 60. So.
Yeah, I would rather be cold and then wear something to warm myself up than be hot. And I mean, then you just can't do anything about it except eat ice.
Yeah, and that sounds gross.
That does sound gross.
Okay, people slowly starting to pile in.
I didn't realize there's a difference between comments and private chat. Okay.
Yeah. And the what do you call it? The desktop notification just went out too, so people will start rolling in any minute. So I'd say we go ahead and get into it. You good?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, we are here today with my friend and guest, Nico Moreno. And as usual, the best part about having a great guest on is there's less for me to do. So with having said that, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what we're going to talk about today?
Absolutely. Well, first off, Chris, thank you for having me here. A little bit about myself is my name is Nico Moreno, and I'm mostly known for being the world's most amazing chatbot builder. So yeah, basically I help people set up like ManyChat and chat marketing funnels, and also have an online course that teaches people how to do that as well. We'll go a little bit into my backstory and how I got there, because it wasn't always like that. But yeah, that's kind of my main thing right now. Helping people set up high converting chatbot funnels. It's pretty cool stuff.
And you really haven't had a lot of success with that course or anything, right? Like that's been a huge failure.
Everything's been terrible.
Like, have you sold any of them or?
No.
I'm trying.
0.
You're not supposed to play along. You're supposed to get into.
Oh, okay. I was playing along. Yeah. No, it's going amazing. People are loving it. Like this video is also streaming in my personal group as well. So yeah, a lot of people who are watching are like in my online course, and yeah, it's really, really great. I think it sort of took on this whole other life of its own that I wasn't really expecting. Because in the very beginning, the reason that I created the course is because I started offering chatbots sort of as a service maybe 3-ish years ago, kind of around the time that you and I met, Chris. Mm-hmm. And I just started offering it as a service, because before that I was doing like Facebook ads and funnels as a service. And Yeah, I got some like really cool results for clients that I was doing it for, because it was still such a new, like undiscovered thing, and it still is right now. But yeah, I just started sharing kind of the results that I was getting for clients using like ManyChat to do our chatbots. And then all these people were like, wow, that's really cool. Like, can you teach me how to do that for my own stuff? And I was like, yeah, sure. So it kind of took off like very naturally and organically. But then I ended up creating a full-on course and have been improving it over the past couple of years, and kind of made it fit and appeal to a broader audience for people who are just getting started online. And yeah, it's awesome. People love it.
Great. And that's what the two Comic Club Awards conspicuously in the background there is from, right?
I know. Oh, that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm asking. That's what that's from, right?
Oh, so it was actually for a combination of, so it's a common misconception, Chris. It was actually for a combination of all my chatbot services as well as the online course. Okay. So it wasn't through one ClickFunnels funnel. It was through like this one business, you could say.
So for those that don't know, what does that award mean?
It means that I have generated over $1 million in revenue online.
Awesome. All
right, using ClickFunnels. That's the thing, right? So
yeah. So let's back up a little bit. Why don't you tell us kind of your origin story and what got you to where you are now?
Sure. So what got me to where I am right now, and origin story. Yeah. So origin story, I think Chris and I kind of started off in a similar situation, and probably a lot of people here too can relate. I started off in a 9-to-5 job that I just really strongly disliked. And I just started reading books and watching videos online and like learning about ways to, I didn't even really know, other than just make money somehow, some other way other than a job, right? Because I really disliked what I was doing. Didn't like working for a boss, an employer who, quite frankly, didn't treat me very kindly. So I just started to explore other opportunities. First time I ever searched like for make money online, I found this online course. It was like a $47 course, and it taught me how to publish Kindle ebooks like on Amazon. And I was like, okay, this sounds interesting and unique. So I tried it, and it worked, made a little bit of money online. So I was like, okay, make money online is like a real thing. It's not like some fake scammy thing. So that was kind of the first step. And then after that, then I started to grow that income a little bit more to be like a couple $100 a month, almost. The most I ever made with it was like almost 1,000. And wasn't quite enough to live, but I had been planning this in my head, like kind of in the background, planning my escape from the 9-to-5. And so I had some money saved up. And at that time I was like, I can't work for someone anymore. And I saw the light enough with online business, since I was having like a little bit of success. I was like, okay, this can work eventually. I don't know exactly how, but I know that this will eventually work. So I decided to just quit my job and go full on with online marketing.
And that wasn't scary at all, right?
It was weird. It was like exhilarating and freeing and kind of scary, but I would say that it was way more exciting than scary, because it had been going on in the back of my mind for probably 2 years at that point. So I had kind of thought of every possible bad scenario and every possible good scenario. And I just finally convinced myself so much so that it was going to be way better than the situation that I was in right now. So yeah, there are parts of it that were definitely a little bit scary, but honestly, like I was really just happy to be done. And I also quit kind of like, it was right around the holidays. I think it was right after Christmas. So it was like, holidays are usually like a good happy time, and then quit my job. So it's a lot of happiness going on at that time.
All right. And like you started with some other stuff too, like some Amazon books or something, right?
Yeah, Kindle ebooks. So that was the first thing that I did. And then I got into copywriting, which I actually found that extremely just interesting and fun because it's so much about buyer psychology, but also just like human psychology and understanding like how we make decisions. And I'm extremely fascinated by the human mind and like mindset and decision making. So yeah, then I moved into copywriting and started just doing like freelance copywriting services, which if I had known about legit, I don't even know if it was a thing at that time.
No, not yet.
Okay. If it were, I would have had a lot easier time finding copywriting clients.
Great.
Just saying. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do a few questions and then we'll kind of circle back and talk a little bit more. IT says, what's up? We already did that. Sam says, everyone liked the stream. Thank you, Sam. Always our cheerleader when it comes to that sort of thing. Jade says, hey, Chris. What's up, Jade? Good to see you, buddy. Jim says, hey, everyone. What's up, Jim? Jim, for those of you that don't know, is the co-founder and partner in Legit.
Beautiful.
Kishore says, what software are you using to stream on multiple channels? It's called StreamYard.com. I can drop a link if you're interested. MD says, congratulations, Nico Moreno. Or actually,
thank you, MD. It says Marini, but we'll assume that.
Yeah, I usually call you Nick Moreno, so it's okay. Private eye.
Yeah.
IT says, what's up, Jim? Sam says, sure, I believe he's using StreamYard. Thank you, Sam. Asmalargari says, hi, Chris. MD says, hello. Kishore says, thanks, Sam. Legit don't understand any improvement. Well, that's completely incorrect. I don't get any reply response. What can I do? You can go to the link I'm going to type for you and do that. If you're not getting any sales, it's because that you aren't working hard enough or your services aren't good enough. So you're going to have to either work harder or improve your services. And I'm going to give you a link on how to improve that, how to work on that. MD says, I have a legit account. Awesome. And I see your site not have any client. Nope, you're wrong about that too. So stop being rude. I see you spamming that on my ad as well. So do me a favor and go ahead and read the link I sent you and either fix your services or work a little bit harder and you'll get some sales. Amro says, hey, Chris, amazing to talk so far. Congrats, Nico. Thank you, Amro.
Thank you, Amro.
All right, we are caught up on clients. So talk a little bit about chatbots. A misconception I get from a lot of folks that are in I hate saying my communities because that sounds vain, but that I interact with, is they don't understand that Facebook chatbots can actually be used off of Facebook. So you can talk a little bit about strategy on that and like how that works and things like that?
Totally. Yeah, so what Chris said is really one of the most popular misconceptions that I hear of as well. And while chatbots are run through, like the messaging piece of chatbots are run through Facebook Messenger, that doesn't mean that chatbots can only be used on Facebook. In fact, you can actually get people into your chatbot from any website, any ClickFunnels funnel, if you guys use ClickFunnels, Instagram, YouTube, blog posts, emails, anywhere that you can put a link, like on the internet, you can get people into your chatbot, even offline. Like there's ways to get people into, actually, I think this feature was recently removed, but there used to be a way to get people into your Messenger chatbot simply by scanning like a little code, kind of look like a QR code. Sure. So literally you can get people into your Messenger chatbot and start nurturing them as a lead for your business and eventually convert them into a sale for your business. Really anywhere across the internet, anywhere that you can use a link. So one thing that I like to do is have this on my organic Facebook profile. I will use chatbots a lot of the time. And yeah, get people into one of my like actual chatbot funnels that way. A lot of times people use them in Facebook ads as well, which is very popular. And yeah, although they run through Facebook Messenger, they definitely can be used all across the internet.
They added a thing recently where like you don't even have to be logged into Facebook, right?
Yeah, they did. It's a little bit strange. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
I get like from guest and then this will disappear in 24 hours or something. And like, there's never any info and there's no way to like evaluate. So I don't really like that feature. But my point in that is that you don't even necessarily have to have Facebook if you're one of those people that don't want to give Facebook your information or whatever. So
yeah.
So that's cool.
It's way versatile. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the people I have here are SEOs and they run like an agency type of business. How would you suggest they use a chatbot to help like grow their business with clients or whatever? What would you tell them?
Totally. So there's two ways that I would tell you guys to use it. Number one is if there's like survey questions or specific questions that you would need someone to ask, or that you would need to ask a person or a business owner before they became a client of yours. So for example, Chris, maybe you can like help me out. But for example, like, what's your website? Like, what kind of products do you offer? Just like typical questions that you would ask someone before you were going to work with them and offer them SEO services. You can actually put like survey questions and like into a chatbot and build it out so that it's sort of like a back and forth conversation experience. So you can still collect all that information, such as their email, phone number, website, and then really any question that you want to type, and have them respond in the messenger chat, which is really cool.
Yeah, I actually have one on my site, Superstar SEO, which is not really like a big focus for me right now. But what I do is I have it like, do you need SEO services, SEO training, or SEO consulting? And then it takes them through a different path, which for the most part ends up in the same place. But to get to there, so it kind of like it's almost like a quiz funnel. Like you're pre-qualifying them a little bit and then getting what they need and sending them to where they need to go, So it's been very helpful to me. I don't focus on it at all, and it still brings in, a sale here and there and some leads here and there. So it's definitely worth having. It's like, even for the pro plan, it's like what, $10 a month. So just set it up and let it run,
Yeah, totally. And yeah, the second thing that I was going to say, or the second thing I was going to suggest, is to have that messenger chat bubble pop up on your website like you do. So
yeah. And I tried the modal, but that didn't convert very well at all for a while. Like the one where it drops down.
Yeah, I don't like that personally, and
it's
I
a
like
very
never
like
use
2004 type of website where pop-ups were like the thing. So
yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't really recommend those.
Yeah. Jim says, and I think he's referring to some of the earlier comments, if you want to make sales, create a value for the customer, then go find customers. If Nico set up a really great product and didn't go out and work to get attention, he wouldn't have that award on the wall. Sitting back and waiting for success to magically find you isn't going to happen. Definitely agree. What also isn't going to work is to come on and say rude things like your site doesn't have any traffic when somebody's on a live stream and we have people making full-time livings off your site. So just a thing there. That, for example, Antor, you already said that once. I'll be happy to look at that for you in a little bit, though. I'm just going to say a small, and I hope that's not too wrong. Nico, how can Chatbot help independent SEO to get clients? I guess we kind of just covered that.
Yeah.
You could also do, I suppose, like I hate this term, but like you could just have the Chatbot give some value too, right? Like, do you need help with your SEO? Well, and then it sends them to like an article, and then you can retarget them and get their email or whatever from there too, right? That'd be another way to go.
Yeah, totally. So chatbots are really cool because you can use them sort of like as a really accelerating the buyer or the sales cycle. So get them in as a lead kind of right away and ask them a few qualifying questions, and then do whatever would be the next step in your sales process. Whether it's, I don't know if your audience primarily like sells their services on the phone, or if it's just like direct to purchase.
It varies.
Yeah, so whatever the next step would be, you can kind of just funnel them to that. And with chatbots, you can also kind of use it just as an extra piece to all the other things that you have going on in your business. So if you like write blog posts to get like, organic traffic, or to educate your customer to get them to take the next step, then you can also link out to those blog posts. So it's kind of, it can be like a standalone funnel, but it can also just work really well with all the other pieces that you already have going on in your business.
And they've kind of changed the rules on how you deliver content with it, right? Like you have to get them to opt back in every time or something. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's a little bit annoying. Now there's a special, it's called like the 24-hour rule. There's just some, special rules that you have to be aware of. You have to tag your messages properly if people have not interacted with your chatbot in the last 24 hours in order for you to be able to contact them. And you also have to well, you don't have to, but you can use paid broadcasting now, which runs through Facebook Ads Manager, and that way you can contact them anytime.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
But it's paid.
Well,
yeah, it's relatively cheap though. It's like, I mean, for every like 2,000 subscribers or so, which is a lot, because the interaction and conversion rate is quite a bit higher than email.
Yeah.
It's probably like $30 to reach like 2,000 people.
Well, that's definitely worth it then, especially if it's an offer. So.
And yeah, and you're like messaging them directly to their inbox. So.
That's cool. I mean, sometimes people find that annoying, but like, it is what it is. If it stops working, we'll stop doing it. I actually don't use mine as much as I should. So is there like, oh wait, and this is me getting off topic a little bit, but do you have any like advice on how to warm up a cold list like that? Like I kind of know how to do that with email, but not so much with a bot.
Yeah. So I send them a lot of times to content, like a video.
Okay.
And then in the video, there'll be an offer like in the link below or something, whether it's like a YouTube video or to like a funnel page that has a video, and then there's like a button beneath it. But I use that strategy a lot. I just think that it's a little bit less spammy is not the right word, but it's just a little bit more
intrusive.
Friendly. Yeah, it's like less intrusive if you just send them off like a video versus if you're just saying like, hey, click here and like get this thing now.
Do you get the people that don't realize that it's not your personal profile sending it? I get that every time I send it.
All the time, yeah. All the time. That's why I now have like different profile pictures. Not that it really seems to help at all, but I have different profile pictures since my brand, like my business page is called Nico Moreno, and like it's the same as me. So I have it all the time.
Yeah. It always cracks me up. Like, it doesn't really bother me, but it does suck that there's so many notifications, but
yeah, totally.
SML says, what if we don't have website, just Facebook profile? You don't have to have a website, do you?
No, you can still do it.
Yeah, you could. I mean, probably, I don't know why you wouldn't just throw up, a $12 website, but if you, for some reason you don't want to, it's not a requirement by any means.
Yeah, you can still do it with that.
Yeah. And so we'll take a look at that in just a minute. This might actually be fun to get an outsider's opinion on a sales page. Outsider meaning you, Nico.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Enro says, do you think chatbots work for all business niches? I think it's more of a big deal for e-commerce sales.
Yeah, they do. So yeah, for e-commerce sales, yeah, we just had someone inside my Facebook group, which this is also streaming inside my Facebook group. So one of my students in there was asking about building chatbots for Shopify stores, which, yeah, it's a huge deal right now. So,
but what if you're like a electrician or something? Is there any value to having it on your site?
Yeah, so I see chatbots being the most high value for clients or businesses that have a higher ticket offer. Okay. So the niche doesn't matter as much. Of course, there are some niches where it will perform better, but it's my feeling, and the results also have spoken to this, that businesses that offer higher ticket products and services like $1,000 and up, those typically see the best results and the best ROI from using chatbots.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Antor says, thanks. I'm pretty sure we've looked at your profile before, but we'll get Nico's take on it in just a second here. Tebby Chiropractic and Sports Medicine Clinic. There's your free plug.
Yeah.
Nico, do you have an outline for dichotomous key for customer service interaction? I don't know what that is.
Dichotomy. That sounds like, I don't know. That sounds like too big a word for.
Yeah. Can you put that in like fourth grade words? So
yeah, I wish I could help you, but yeah, I'm not sure what that means.
All right. Let me find the link here and we'll take a look at a sales page if you're up for that, a legit sales page if you're up for that.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, give me just
as I said, I used to be a copywriter, so.
Yeah.
Dichotomy.
I already see one problem, but we'll bring it up here in just a second. I have looked at this before, and you did make the changes that we talked about before, so that's good. But all right, so I'm going to share the screen, and then we're going to bring that up. So we're looking at Antor's profile here. So Okay, so last time we looked at this one, and I'm pretty sure I've looked at this one before, it said it was the same exact logo service that everybody else has, where it says, I will make a flat minimalist, whatever. So it's good that you changed that. I think the English here could use a little work, and I don't mean to be offensive when I say that, but professional top 5 logos for your business or brand. Like top 5 what? You know what I mean? So you have any thoughts on the title?
Professional top 5 logos for your business or brand. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's not really like a enthralling or enticing sentence. Maybe it's something like, I'll create like a snazzy or snappy logo for your business or something like that. Like it's not, I think the thing is like, it's not necessarily like a statement of what you will do. It's kind of just like professional logos, which you get the point across sort of, but like it can be strengthened.
Yeah. The logos themselves, I think they look pretty good. You're certainly more talented than I am, but I see this exact mock-up template on every service. So I would remove the mock-up altogether and just put like a black or a whatever background that doesn't clash with that color. That's just my opinion, you know. What do you think?
Yeah, they're nice. Like there's nothing wrong with them, but yeah, I don't know. It would be cool to see sort of something that's more unique and eye-catching. They do look quite similar to stuff that other people also post.
Yeah, like definitely the background portion. The logo itself, I think, is quite good. It's like I said,
I like that logo.
Yeah, it's not something I could do, that's for sure. But this is some spacing here. Can you see that? Okay, you need me to zoom in?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. I will design all business logos. Okay, so there's not much in the way of copy there. I would start talking about why logos are important to your business and how they represent you to the world and they tell a story about who you are and something like that. You'll need to include all the stuff you have here too, because you do need to tell them what you're going to do, but you haven't given them any reason to buy it. You know, when I see this, and I really wish you would take the cannabis/marijuana portion off of it, but when I see this, I don't see anything that makes me makes your logo service stand out more than anyone. I'll probably give you a shot anyway after the webinar, after the live stream is over. But I don't know. Do you see anything on that page? What would you change about that sales page if you were trying to sell a logo?
Yeah, I mean, I would start with some enticing questions. Like, are you looking for a stunning logo that's going to get your brand the recognition that it deserves? Like, are you going to, I would start with like a couple questions. Like a lot of really good copywriting pages are, a lot of good copywriting starts off with, just questions to get the reader engaged and thinking about what it is that they actually want. And then, you could say something like, I design logos for all these types of businesses and more. Traveling, rentals, yoga therapy, more. Yeah, I mean, I think it's more like visually, like the layout could be improved too. Like I think bullets are usually a bit more reader friendly rather than, I mean, that part is kind of like that. But that part's good, but as far as the layout, but where there's the 2 sentences up above, like e-commerce, cannabis, all that. Yeah, I think that the structure of the page could be cleaner with bullets.
And I realize you probably come from Fiverr where they don't give you any formatting options whatsoever, but we do. So you could incorporate some of your logos right here in the body, I think would be a good idea. Like I help with what's real estate industry, and then have like an example of a real estate one, and then some copy on why you need it. And I think that would jazz it up a little bit. And then once you get a little bit of traffic to it, I think you'll start to see some sales. So, and then you need a call to action at the bottom as well. Like you have order with confidence, but they don't know how. I mean, and no matter how simple we make the site, somebody's going to not know how to order. So tell them to click the add to cart button or something to that effect. So, but I'll give you, since you've asked twice and you're clearly interested in improving, I'll give you an order after we get off here too. So maybe that'll help get things going for you. So that was cool. It's cool to have somebody on who's not really in this space to kind of analyze it from like a different perspective. So
yeah,
I know it was a bit outside what we planned to do today, but I think that was cool. Imro says, any chatbot tools you would suggest? Also, does using AI, as on Google Dialog Flow, make a better conversion? That's a good question. Do you use anything other than ManyChat?
Yeah, it's a great question, Amro. So the chatbot tools that I would suggest are ManyChat. That's it. And that's all that's all I use. Unless it's for a Shopify store, then Shop Message, which is like a plugin that does the same thing as ManyChat, but it integrates directly with Shopify. And let's see, also, does using AI as on Google Dialogflow makes a better conversion? I don't know. I don't use AI or Google Dialogflow. So
all right,
you could test it out though.
Robert says, howdy. What's up, Robert? Tebby Chiropractic and Sports Medicine Clinic of Charlotte, North Carolina says, do you have an outline for suggested questions and answers with respect to developing customer service interaction?
Yeah, I do. So I have like a ton of different ones. You can check out my YouTube channel. It looks like this commenter is from YouTube, so you can check out my YouTube channel, Nico Moreno. And yeah, there's lots of just case studies and examples of chatbots there. You can also check out my online course if you're interested in just getting more advanced help and templates that are already pre-built. And yeah, I don't know if we'll have a link to that somewhere, but messengerbotsforentrepreneurs.com.
I'm getting your channel now. Just to be clear, he's not the DJ Nico Moreno that you'll find on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a weird other, or I don't want to call him weird, I don't know him. But there's another YouTuber, I wouldn't consider myself a YouTuber even. There's another Nico Moreno on YouTube who offers death metal music.
He's got a pretty big channel. I'm seeing it right now. He's doing quite well.
I know. So that is not me. I don't do death metal music yet. You never know what the future may hold.
I mean, 5 years ago, I never would have thought I'd be doing this. So,
yeah.
Although I feel pretty confident saying that being a death metal DJ is not in my path.
Yeah, same.
He says, what questions should be asked and they suggest answers to guide the prospect? I guess it's going to depend on each business, but I mean, I guess you would start with some basic info collecting, right? Name, email, that sort of thing. And then I guess it would depend on your goal. Like if it's customer service to find out what they need, like, are you in need of, he's a chiropractor, so are you in need of I don't know the industry, but are you in need of an adjustment? Are you in pain? And then just kind of like a flow chart, right? Like that's how I think of it when I set up a sequence like that.
Yeah, I would say if there's any sort of, so Tebby Chiropractic, if there's any sort of like surveys that you have your customers fill out or any forms or anything like that, you can kind of translate that form into a question by question conversation. And there's actually a specific video on my channel called Get Clients with Chatbots or something like that. Excuse me. So I would check that out. Just check out my YouTube channel. Sorry, Chris.
At least you know we're live, right? There is a link to Nico's YouTube channel if you want to check that out. That Chris posted that for us. We'll give you a second to catch your breath there. Joanna, this is funny. Joanna, no offense. It's a little bit funny, though.
It is funny.
Joanna says, hello, guys. Greetings from Greece. What's up, Joanna? Haven't seen you in a while. Always a pleasure. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm just going to keep rambling until Nico's ready to speak again. Are you good? You all right? You need me to call anybody?
No, I'm tearing up. So I don't know if I would say I'm all right.
Well, you're tearing up because you're having the honor of hanging out with us, but I thought I meant with the, never mind. Is it get clients today? 2 easy ways to get Facebook chatbot clients. Is that the one? Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Actually, wait. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
just search my channel. There's like literally, I mean, there's like 100+ videos about chatbots.
Okay.
Like I'm the only, it's kind of shocking, like how many different examples there are on my channel. So check it out.
Cool. So one thing that you've got your 2 Comma Club award there, which means you've done $1 million to it. Do you rely on Facebook ads? Do you get organic traffic, YouTube ads? Like what do you suggest, or what do you do for that kind of stuff? What do you do for traffic, I guess is what I'm asking.
Oh no, I can't see myself. Oh, I'm back. Okay. Yeah, so for traffic, Don't worry, we're going to get through this. Okay. For traffic, Facebook ads. Facebook ads work great in my industry or in my niche, which is sort of like online business and marketing. You have to be extremely careful, as a lot of you guys probably know. My Facebook ad account has been shut down like 4 times probably. So Facebook ads hasn't been the most reliable source of traffic for me. I do a lot of organic on Facebook and YouTube, as well as YouTube ads, and like referrals and joint venture type things too. But the way that I first started out, and you actually will learn on my YouTube channel if you check this out, the way that I very first started out getting clients online was just organic Facebook marketing. So I still heavily use Facebook organic, and it's a great way to get clients. But yeah, Facebook is great, and YouTube. Those are like the 2 primary sources of traffic.
Okay. So I remember you told me recently you've had quite a bit of success with organic Facebook. Has that been for your course, or is that for some of the other things you do? And what are some of the other things you do right now?
Yes, beautiful questions. So we've been doing very well lately with Facebook, or with organic Facebook. And that's primarily been for our 2 like higher end offers, not so much my online course, but for our marketing service offer, which is like building chatbots and building funnels. So for that offer, we've been doing very well on Facebook organic, as well as our other like higher end offer, which is my Inner Circle coaching program.
Okay, and that's
go ahead.
That's literally just somebody and you don't have to go away the whole process, but it's just identifying prospects on Facebook and messaging them, right?
Yeah, so we have a bit of a strategy as far as creating organic content that tells a story and warms people up over time. And we also use Facebook groups, Facebook wall, and Facebook story. And we have like kind of a specific pattern laid out, and we do like calls to action. So, a lot of the time we're just offering value and sort of warming people up to, it kind of sounds weird, but warming people up to me. Mm-hmm. Because I'm the brand, and I'm the face of the brand, I guess. So warming people up to me and my story and helping them just get to know me. And then every once in a while, we'll sort of do a call to action or make an offer, and we'll follow up with people sort of in a specific way, reach out to them. And if it's a good fit, then we'll have them schedule a phone call, and then we'll see on the phone if it's a good fit for them to work with us.
Awesome. So that's like a good way to supplement ads and stuff like that. So it's more of an outbound than an inbound strategy kind of thing. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it because it allows you to fine tune, at least this is my view, it allows you to fine tune your messaging and like what your offer really is and the core thing that your customers want before running ads to it. Right? I think like if you have an organic audience, again, this is my belief, other people say different things, but my belief is that if you have an organic audience, the easiest way to sort of fine tune your messaging for a new offer or a new way of positioning something is just interacting with your organic audience about it and seeing what resonates.
I mean, obviously I agree. That's kind of what we're doing right now. There's no objective to this particular stream, but I mean, that's kind of why I do these, is to interact with them and understand what they need and be able to help as best as I possibly can. Occasionally I'll get somebody that'll approach me with some sort of SEO offer that's like a JV offer that they say, it's been crushing it for this guy's, and I look at it and I'm like, this isn't going to work for my audience. They're like, but you have, a 70,000 or 60,000 group of SEOs. It's like, it's not going to work for them. Like my point to that story is not to like pat myself on the back, but it's to point that out that you need to know your audience, your customer, and things like that. And with what you're talking about, you can get even more granular and like format the conversation to that person specifically. It actually kind of reminds me of when I used to work in politics, and we had this application that it's probably scary by today's standards, but it had a lot of data on people. And like I would go, and most people would just go bang through the script and try to pump out as many as they can. I would take the time to like look at how old they are and how long they had lived there and all this other information that people probably don't think we would have, and just customize what I was going to say to each person. Like I never had the highest numbers, but I didn't even know what the term conversion meant at that point, but I always got like the best results. So I think that's kind of the same concept, right? You can, when you know the individual, you can really target into what works, what they need.
Totally. Yeah, I do a lot of like surveys too, like surveying my audience, literally just using like a really simple Google form. And I just ask very specifically worded questions so that I can actually understand like what their pains are and like what their fears are and what their goals are in life. Because I was just telling one of my coaching clients yesterday, like if you know what somebody's pains are and like what their fears are, and then also like what their desires are and their goals, then you can sell them a solution instead of just selling like a product. If you don't know that stuff about your customer, like you're just selling a product.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do know that stuff about your customer, then you're selling them a solution. And people pay money for a solution.
Mm-hmm.
They just always have, and they always will.
Yeah, and like that way, when you do advertise, that's one of the advantages to organic over advertising. With advertising, you can still define your audience, but you still have to be fairly broad in your language and things like that to try to scoop up as much of that traffic as possible. You can't really target it to one type of person, at least not in a way that's going to be scalable. So.
Totally, yeah.
George says, have you ever tried BotStar?
Hey, George, I have not tried BotStar.
I don't know what that is. It's probably some other type of chatbot builder.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ones like popping up now. When I first started using chatbots, I just got started with ManyChat, and now like everything's on there, like all my stuff, all my client stuff. My course is like taught in ManyChat, so like I can't. I mean, I guess theoretically I could, but like to me, it's like I'm not gonna change and use something
be good at
else.
one thing, right? As opposed to
yeah.
And you're like, you have such a good relationship with them. You're going to be on a panel or something, right?
Yeah, I'm going to speak at their Conversations 2020 event.
Which would have been a live event if not.
Yeah, it would have been a live event, but now there's all this going on, so it's going to be a virtual event. But
meet some fairly other impressive. I was going to say impressive people. Other impressive people on it too. Right?
Other impressive people just like myself will be in attendance.
Adrian said, hey, what's up, Adrian? Good to see you, buddy. He says, hi, Chris. Hi, Nico. See, he said my name first. How many hours/days needed to create an efficient chatbot? Also, what's the common questions answers best to put on the chatbot? So how long does it take to set up a good chatbot funnel? And I know that's a kind of a how long is a piece of string question, but just.
Yeah, it's a great question, Adrian. So thank you for asking that. I would say probably, if it's let's say, okay, for someone who it's their very first time ever, I would say like give yourself like 3 hours, and that will give you like a solid enough time to like understand the concepts and also kind of learn like how to put it together and then actually create it. If you're someone who already knows how to build them, so for example, myself, like I already know how to build them, I can put together a good one in like 30 minutes to an hour. But yeah, it's it's really like a low barrier to entry skill. I think people are just kind of intimidated by it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they realize that, well, first of all, that you can even use it outside of Facebook, but how well designed it is and how easy it is, to like go in and do it. I remember the one that I have on my site, which again has done fairly well for me without any real effort behind it. I literally put it together while I was watching UFC one night. Like I had like in one window, I was just like building out the flow of it. I think I wrote the copy, and it's not even really copy, but the content of it. And it's my point to that story is it was over the course of one, night. So, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Pardon my language. I'd never used it before. So it's not hard at all. ManyChat is very, very GUI friendly. So
yeah, it's very visually like beginner friendly. Yeah, it's not designed for a tech person. It's designed for a marketer or a business owner.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons they've crushed the whole industry for the most part.
Yeah.
So.
Totally. I know there was another, when I was getting started with chatbots, there was another competitor. I actually can't even remember the name right now, but there were like kind of two main chatbot platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And ManyChat was like the super user-friendly, like easy drag and drop one. And the other one, it's probably better that I don't remember their name because I don't want to like try and bash them, but it was a bit more like techy and complicated. And I remember I tried both and I was like, that other one's like way too hard.
Yep.
And now like I think they're maybe gone. I don't know. I haven't seen them in a while.
Marketers love to, not all marketers, but marketers often love to complicate stuff. And I think that's a good example of that. Like, but you can't do this tagging with these interactive AI. I'm like, yeah, but I can draw a line to what happens next. I understand that. I think I'm a fairly sharp guy, and I don't have the patience for like overly complicated stuff either. So
me neither.
That's one of the reasons they've done well. That's the reason that stuff like ClickFunnels done well is done so well, because it's really not that great of a product, but it's very easily accessible. Is the nice way to put that.
Totally. Like I'm a big fan of the simplest path.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think, so this is kind of funny, like behind the scenes, Chris and I like joke about this quite often. I don't know if you guys would guess this about me or not, but I'm a super just like extremely lazy person. And so we'll joke and we'll send the GIF like Nico's to-do list today, and it'll be like that GIF of Patrick Star from SpongeBob, and it says like to-do list, nothing. And then he like checks off the nothing. Literally, like I am a very lazy person. I just like to do the simplest thing that will get like the result, and then and that's it. Like don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, same way. Not for the same reason, because I'm not a lazy ass like you are, but for me,
I admit it. I admit to being a lazy person.
I'm very, very impatient. So when like I'm starting to have to ask like getting a bunch of questions and like trying to figure out how to work things, I lose interest really quickly. So I want to be able to just do it and get to the result, because that's what I'm about, is the result.
Yeah.
George asks, you mentioned you're on Facebook, organic type of campaigns. So if these are not ads, can you give an example? You don't have to give like your exact example, but can you give like kind of a broad?
Yeah. So first off, thank you for the questions, George. And to clarify, because these are organic, I'm not sure I would call them campaigns. However, yeah, there is a structure to them. So we can refer to them as that. Essentially, we have like I would say like sort of a 2-week rotation pattern that we adhere to. And this is actually one of my team members. I'm not sure if he's watching right now. One of my team members sort of created the structure behind this. And what we do is basically we'll use Facebook story, Facebook organic wall, so like my personal profile wall, and then certain Facebook groups where we know that our audience hangs out. And we'll put one post per day on my wall, as well as in the groups. And it's usually, we'll usually either do something that's like a value post, so teaching my audience something that they would want to learn and know about, or we'll do a quote, just some sort of like inspirational quote that's going to like lift people up. Because our overall goal with organic is to build this sort of like long-term omnipresence and just have people overall feel good when they're around me and my brand. So that's why there's some sort of just like simple uplifting content too. So that's sort of the general overview. And then yeah, every 2 weeks we'll do like a call to action post, both in the Facebook story and on the wall. And we'll just say like, hey, we're looking for 3 or 4 people. The wording might slightly change each time we do it, but we'll say like, hey, we're looking for 3 people who want to work with me personally to grow their business to whatever, $20,000 a month or something. So we'll try out different wording, but we usually just have a specific post like that will every 2 weeks we'll make that post, and then everybody who responds to it or says yes, then we'll engage with them in a conversation, and if it seems like a good fit, we'll have them book a phone call, and then if they book a phone call, then some of them will decide to work with us.
So that's probably a lot of work to get put in place, I'd say.
It is a lot of work. It was more, I would say more, it was a lot of work to figure out. But yeah, I have, again, I don't know if he's watching, but I have someone on my team who literally does that whole thing. And it's a lot of work, but it makes us a lot of money as well. So it's certainly worth it.
You're not that.
What? Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, not that lazy. I mean, that's why I'm not the one that does it. I don't know if I could handle that. But yeah, so I have someone who helps me. He's awesome. He takes care of all of that. And yeah, we do really well. And we're actually very shortly, I don't know the exact dates, but we're actually creating a new course that's going to teach people how we do this strategy so that they can use that to grow their own business on Facebook.
Well, we'll definitely bring you back around when we have that when that's closer to being ready to go. So
cool. Yeah, it'll be a good one.
Sam says, is it quite similar to building like an email automation sequence? Yeah, it's pretty much the same concept, right?
Yeah, Sam, exactly. So a lot of times when people are brand new to chatbots, I use that as an example for them. So yes, you've got it perfectly.
Sam says that's a big bottle of water.
I know. So here's the thing. So I live in Dallas, and at the gyms right now, so I know it's different for everywhere across the world and across the nation. So our gyms are open, but you can't, the water fountains at the gyms, they're like closed. So you can't drink from the water fountains at the gyms right now because of sanitation issues. So because of that, I'm a very thirsty person. Don't interpret that in any other way. But I'm a very thirsty person. Drink a lot of water when I go to the gym. And so, yeah, I bought this extremely large water bottle to take with me to the gym so that I don't run out of water.
I've been drinking like a gallon of water a day for the last couple of weeks too. It's really invigorating actually. Like there's some downsides to it that I won't get into, but
yeah. This is 3 liters.
This is America.
I don't know how many. I got 3/4, 101 fluid ounces. Proudly Texan, just like me.
All right. You're also the richest man in Santa Barbara. So
I'm also the richest man in Santa Barbara. Little known fact.
Craig says, any chance for an updated profile review? Yeah, I think we got one more in us. Let me share the screen. For 2 reasons. 1, I think this is very helpful. And 2, it gets me to put my business on the screen, which is good for business. So let's see. I saw this a question ahead of time, so I went ahead and approved your recent changes. So let's take a look at this one and see what Nico and I can come up with. So DFY on-page optimization using Surfer SEO. You probably aren't familiar with it, Nico, but Surfer is a tool that lets you optimize your content to rank better in Google, for lack of a better explanation. What do you think of that headline?
I love the image, the headline. I don't know if I'm your target audience, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it means. So,
okay. The idea, I think it's done for people that have SEO.
I mean, I get DFY, but
yeah, it's for people that want to. Okay, so on page is literally what you do with the text and things like that to make it rank better. So, if that gives you any context.
So yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just the image is very eye-catching. Again, I don't know if I'm your target audience, but I'm just not quite sure what those words are. I've never heard of Surfer SEO. So
yeah, I guess it could have a little bit more about benefit and a little bit less about what it is. And that's a common theme I see through Legit and other marketplaces for that matter in general. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's a good thumbnail. I like that you're using Surfer because it has a certain amount of, what is that called? Trust pulling or something like that. Kickstart SEO ranking presents done for you on-site optimization. Have you wondered what is one of the most important factors of SEO? Most people will tell you it's the on-page optimization. If your on-page optimization is not done correctly, it's going to kill your ranking. It's not even ranking at all. You could have the best backlinks in the world, but if your on-page is not correct, you will not rank high. So that's not bad, right? That's talking a little bit putting them in more pain, right?
Yeah, I think the copy here is really great and it's eye-catching. Yeah. The thing that I'm noticing though is it feels like, and I don't know, maybe this is who your target customer is, but a person who would need to be reading this, or person who would be reading this and understand it would be very familiar with SEO.
You'd be surprised, to be honest.
Okay, maybe I just have no clue.
Yeah, it's not your niche. I get it. I get it. You know, I get that you kind of have to. I'm looking for more like general stuff. Surfer audit. I'll be using Surfer SEO to compare the top ranking websites to your website and adjusting these what needs to be changed to get you ranking higher. That's good. It's very specific on what's going to happen. People need that. Are you stuck on? So here we go with more pain. So that's good. You're stuck on page 2 or 3. This should probably be centered over here a little bit, but that's minor. We can fix it. What is on-page optimization? So that's good. I mean, overall, I think it's pretty good. Now, you've definitely made some changes since the last time I looked at it. Good. Good use of images and colors. I'm not a fan of the black and gold, or the black, I guess it's yellow, but it stands out. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts?
No, I think it's eye-catching, and there's like good structure here.
Yeah.
So I can kind of like scroll and look for what I need to find.
Yeah. I think I think the changes you've made have been very good. And I think this is probably a response to what I said in the group about people that will make changes based on Surfer, because I do get people asking me for that. So I'll, next time I do, I'll send them your way. But I think you got something good here. So just got to get a little bit of traffic to it. One problem that you're going to have, though, is that everyone in SEO thinks that they're good at on page. Most of them aren't. So you're going to have to overcome that objection. So we'll have to think about that a little bit. But definitely you're on the right path, I'd say. This just needs to be centered, though. That's bugging the hell out of me. So, all right. We're caught up on questions. We got a few minutes left. So one of the things I want to talk about is you're very much into mindset and things like that, and you even have a background in hypnosis. So like, can you talk a little bit about those things and why they're important to both you and to what you do in your businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. So as Chris mentioned, I'm deeply fascinated with mindset, psychology, and even hypnosis. So the first sort of entrepreneurial venture that I ever got into was hypnosis. I got an online certification about 5 years ago. I didn't pay anything for that one. I'm not 100% sure if it was legit, but it said that I had a certification. But anyway, as I recently got recertified, and I paid for this, and it was a legit program, and that's what I can't figure out how to point to it. That's what that is. So I'm certified legitimately now in hypnosis, and the first thing that I ever sort of used it for on myself was health and fitness. I couldn't really figure out. I tried a bunch of diets, and it would always be very short-lived results. And I started looking into hypnosis for sustained weight loss. Really, it was the very first thing that I looked into it for. And then I also started to realize that your mindset, especially with entrepreneurship and business and finances, and where you're anything where you're creating your own life and your own results, it has so much to do with your mindset and how you view the world, and also how you view yourself, right? So if you have a self-image of someone who's poor, you will always be poor. Even if you just suddenly somehow get a bunch of money thrown at you, because you have the mindset and the beliefs of a poor person, you'll just eventually you'll just and this is not trying to talk poorly about talk in a bad way about any person's financial situation, but that's using it as an example because that's a specific area that I focused on, finances and business success. But yeah, what I started to realize was that really success, and not only success, but sustained results in any area of your life has so much to do, I would say 95% or more, with your mindset and your beliefs about the world, how the world works, and your beliefs about who you are as a person. So I've gotten really into self-image psychology, which essentially is just it's who you think you are. It's different than who you actually are, but there's this whole you can really go down the rabbit hole with this stuff. But essentially, yeah, what I've found and what has been true for me is that just mindset, psychology, and understanding how to get the mind to work with you and be on your side is really the single biggest thing in goal attainment and like sustained results.
Awesome. Any resources you suggest people check out for any of that?
Yes, I would say first, like most fundamental book that I can absolutely recommend in this subject or on this subject is Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. So
Awesome.
Search for that. It's on Amazon as an audiobook or a Kindle, maybe even like probably a physical book too. But yeah, that's all about self-image psychology. And it's actually written by a medical doctor, like plastic surgeon, who can I go into like a 60-second synopsis? It's fascinating.
Go for it, yeah.
Okay, so it was written by a medical doctor who would perform like facial reconstructive surgery for just a wide variety of people. And a lot of times the reasons why they would come in, he would do a lot of what's it called, like rhinoplasty. So people who wanted to get a nose job. And so they would come in because they felt that they were ugly, and they felt that they just didn't like the way that they looked, and they didn't like who they were. And so they thought that changing their physical body and like getting a nose job basically was going to make them feel better about themselves. And so the plastic surgeon at first, he would do those jobs because he was like, sure, like that's what I went to medical school for, like I'll do it. And then they would get the nose job, and then a certain amount of the people, they would still feel as though they were ugly even after they had the nose job, and they would still be really unhappy with their looks, and they would still just have a really poor, low self-image. And so he started to look more into this, and basically he did a bunch more scientific research and found out that there's this whole hidden part of the mind where our own view of our self-image is like created. And yeah, it's just super fascinating book. I liked it because it's extremely practical, but also just the story behind it will literally blow your mind in a good way. So
awesome. And there's the Amazon link to it. So there's that. Awesome. So all right, we're out of time. It's been over an hour. That went really fast.
Sweet. It did, other than my coughing spell.
Well, at least that proves that we're live, because there's always that one guy. Is this live? So yeah,
it was live.
All right. Anything else you want to say?
No. Thank you for having me, Chris. It's been a pleasure.
Everybody should check you out on YouTube and Messenger Bots for Entrepreneurs.com, right?
Yep. Check me out on YouTube. Yeah, we'll put those links down below.
All right. Joanna says, I love it, Nico. Mindset works, makes or breaks our business and our life.
Totally, Joanna. Thank you for that comment. Agree with you 100%.
All right. Well, we'll do this again sometime. I know you're not busy at all, so I appreciate you taking the time to do it anyway.
I'm free.
I always say at the end, I know you're very busy when I have a guest, but we kind of established that that's not how you get down. So, and anyway, dude, thanks for taking the time to do it. Now I'm going to drop the line that I was using before Russell Brunson stole it, that Nico didn't remember when I brought it up to him. Figure out what you want out of life and go ahead and get it, because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world. See you guys again soon. Take care.